Pflugerville voters passed two propositions this week, both aimed at changing the language in the city charter to be more inclusive.
Proposition D changes the charter to prohibit discrimination based on gender identity and sexual orientation. Proposition E changes the charter to add gender-neutral wording.
KXAN's Will Dupree sat down with recently elected council member Jim McDonald about the changes to this charter.
This election cycle, you all put 13 amendments, I believe, on the ballot this time, and two of them included particular things that I want to talk about today. One being this change that would prohibit discrimination, particularly for gender identity and sexual orientation. How did that particular issue become a part of the changes you all wanted to put before voters?
Well, a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, I guess, the previous charter commission had looked at changing some of the wording in the charter to be more gender neutral. We had a female councilman on the dais at the time, Starlet Sattler, and we wanted to change the verbiage for that. To make sure that she didn't have to have that title. So we changed that to council person. But then in looking at other changes in staff and changes in terms of how our city's been growing, we looked at the specific wording there. And although the attorney said that he thought the existing wording was clear and didn't discriminate, we wanted to be very purposeful in our statement in the charter.
I also want to ask you about this other charter amendment that was approved by voters, creating gender-neutral wording for the city charter. What does that mean exactly?
There were a few items that were overlooked 5 years ago, just in terms of the search and replace, some hers and she's and his's, and those were all replaced to take away any sort of implicit perceptions or implicit biases that might be there.
Does this mean that any sort of references to pronouns will be in the they and them category because this change was approved?
Within the city charter, that's what the amendment is covering. And I believe that throughout the documentation and any ordinance that you see posted, those pronouns, the gender neutral pronouns, are the ones that are preferred. Pflugerville recently enacted by ordinance an equity commission, and we're very proud of that because again, that's part of our focus.
All right, Jim. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate your time, Will. It's been a pleasure.